There is a juicy rumor going around that Nintendo and Disney are negotiating a massive partnership that would include toys, movies, games, and more. Part of the rumor suggests that Disney actually wanted Mario to be a part of Disney Infinity 3.0. Nintendo didn't want to do that because Mario's like their main character. He doesn't really have anything to do with Disney yet, and they're still working out the deal of how like Amiibo will interact with Disney Infinity. We already got the Skylanders thing, so it's not too far a leap to think that Nintendo might be interested in doing the same with Disney Infinity. Anyway, so it would include stuff like that. Part of the rumor is that Disney has wanted to use Mario characters in movies for a long time. We know that the director of Wreck-It Ralph really wanted Mario to be a character in that. We also know that he is really pushing hard to have Mario be like one of the main cast for Wreck-It Ralph 2. This is news from like forever ago that I remembered because I like Wreck-It Ralph. But so that's interesting to think about. Just a little bit of concrete news that sort of supports this idea that they are in these serious talks. Meanwhile, one of the head honchos at Nintendo said that he suspects that Miyamoto may begin working on projects in other media. So there really may be something brewing here.
Yeah, there's just a lot of talk right now about Nintendo making movies or just finding other ways to expand their IP.
Because they should make movies.
Absolutely, and I think Disney is a fantastic partner.
Well, everyone else is licensing their movies.
Yeah, Sony is like pumping out more video game movies than video games lately.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, all these not just reboots of old films, but reboots of just like classic IP, like Transformers. That I'm hearing there's going to be a Power Rangers one, which that was a multimedia franchise. So it's just like the time is ripe for 90s and 80s IP to just come back to the surface.
You know, we've talked before about how Nintendo could establish an almost like Marvel Cinematic Universe
the
style.
Nintendo, yeah.
And what Disney's done with them has been fantastic, where they throw money at them, but let them do their own thing. They have creative control, and Disney just funds it and make sure they've got the right people working on it, and it's been wonderful. All these movies are critically acclaimed and just bring in just huge amounts of money at the box office. So I think Disney would be an ideal partner to do something similar with Nintendo, where they get Nintendo working with the right producers and give them the right funding, but let them keep creative control.
I don't know that I would keep creative control with Nintendo just because there's so much of their heart and soul is an interactive company. And I don't know that they really have the best. Well, I'm fairly confident that they don't have the best story writers to write movies.
No, or even cinematic vision. Most of their games, even the ones that have had good cutscene direction, have just not been cinematic games.
Well, if not direct control, then just consultation. To have people like Shigeru Miyamoto, at your beck and call.
The Pikmin short films were amazing. Like that's a great example. And so, I really do think that would be a great partnership, and I was thinking I would love to see Pixar do anything with Nintendo, any Nintendo franchise at all. I was recently at this Pixar exhibit at the Museum of Science, and the whole time going through, all I could think of, no matter what part of the creative process they were explaining, there was some sort of Nintendo game that my mind immediately jumped to that said, this is the perfect way to apply what they're doing here at Pixar to something that people already know, and it just astounded me. I always felt like Pixar and Nintendo would be a good match, but it astounded me the behind-the-scenes ways in which they would really just mesh perfectly.
Another point about Nintendo expanding into films is, I don't have the raw numbers in front of me, but from my experience, I think Nintendo must spend more advertising money on movie theaters than just about anything else, because I never see Nintendo commercials on TV or barely on YouTube and things like that, but every time I go to the movies, there's a commercial for at least one, sometimes multiple Nintendo games before the movie starts. Yeah,
I've never seen that. That's
maybe it's a local thing, whatever, but I know over the summer last year, I saw a lot of Mario Kart 8 commercials in theaters. I just went to see Jurassic World the other day, and I'm not going to be able to remember what it was, but I know there was Nintendo commercials before it, so at least in the Chicago area, Nintendo seems to spend a lot of money on advertising in movie theaters.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me either, because movie theaters are like mass market entertainment, and their targets are mass market consumers. So it makes sense to put their IP in front of people in places where they go for entertainment, and they might just be curating this idea that you're gonna see Nintendo at the movies. I don't know.
Hopefully, I would love to see it. Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.